What is the Greater Bengaluru Governance Bill? Is this an important bill for Bengaluru? Why is it relevant now? What does Bengaluru Navanirmana Party want as changes in the bill? Can this bill shape the future of Bengaluru? Hello Bengalurigas, this is Srikanth Narasimhan, founder of Bengaluru Navanirmana Party, India's first and only political party with an exclusive focus on one city, that is Bengaluru, and its municipal governance, that is focused only on civic issues, civic amenities and civic infrastructure. So the Greater Bengaluru Governance Bill is a bill that was recently tabled in the Assembly by the Congress government in Karnataka. This bill effectively determines how BBMP is to be administered and how BBMP will function. And what you need to understand is BBMP is the government that is elected by us, comprising corporators, a municipal council and a mayor. And these are the people, and this is the organization that effectively administers Bengaluru. And the Greater Bengaluru Governance Bill in turn governs how BBMP is to be administered. And hence, Bengaluru's future and how Bengaluru is going to shape up is going to be determined largely by how good or how bad this bill is going to be. So let's go into what is it that we want as changes. And before that, why do we even need changes in the bill? Because the bill that's currently tabled in the Assembly by the Congress government is a truly horrible bill. And I'll shortly come to some of the salient points on why it's horrible and what changes are needed. At BNP, we have prepared a list of 10 specific demands that need to be incorporated in the bill that can make the bill a lot more effective and hence can be a great stepping stone, can be a great first step towards rebuilding the Bengaluru of our dreams. So what are these 10 demands? Let's go into each of these one by one. Demand number 1. We want an empowered mayor in BBMP. What does that mean? Let me ask you a question. The Prime Minister who we elect, if I were to tell you that the Prime Minister does not have the power to appoint ministers, or the bureaucracy represented by the Cabinet Secretary will not report into the PM, can the PM really do a good job? At the state level, if I were to tell you that the Chief Minister does not have the power to appoint ministers at the state level, and the Chief Secretary, who is the Chief Bureaucrat of Karnataka, will not report into the Chief Minister, can the Chief Minister deliver a good job at the state level? Absolutely not. If the Prime Minister needs to have that authority, if the Chief Minister needs to have that authority at the state level, shouldn't we be demanding that the mayor have similar powers at the city level? So our first demand is the mayor should have similar powers at the city level that the Prime Minister has at the national level and the Chief Minister has at the state level. And these are two effective things that we want. Number 1, the mayor should have the right to appoint a council of ministers at the city level who will administer the city. And the Chief Commissioner of Bengaluru, who is the chief bureaucrat for the city, should be reporting to the mayor, should be accountable and answerable to the mayor. Otherwise, what's happening today is there is no responsibility, there is no accountability. Nobody knows who is responsible, who is accountable for the issues that we face in Bengaluru. And it is the mayor who should be answerable and accountable to the city, and the Chief Commissioner and the ministers at the city level should in turn be answerable and accountable to the mayor. In fact, the Brand Bengaluru Committee has recommended something called as a mayor and council to report into the mayor. Interestingly, Shri Rahul Gandhi, who is the main person in Congress, had tweeted way back in 2019 that if Congress were to be elected in power anywhere, they will implement an empowered municipality with an empowered mayor, and that's all that we are seeking as demand number one. Demand number two, which goes into the ward level and citizen empowerment. Ward committees. Today, the ward committees that are constituted do not have any great powers. We want empowered ward committees. And what that means is the ward committees that are to be constituted by the corporator at a ward level should have the power to develop a ward development plan, and subsequently, as projects are implemented at the ward level, the ward committees should have the power to audit the works that are going on. Without that, ward governance becomes toothless. So our demand number two is that ward committees should be fully empowered with participation from citizens. Demand number three, empowered area sabhas. Many of you would not have even heard of this term called as area sabha, but it's a concept that's enshrined in the BBMP Act and earlier in the Karnataka Municipal Corporations Act for the last 25 years, but not implemented at all. Area sabha is the platform through which citizens take part in ward level governance. What that effectively means is the citizens who are part of the area sabhas should have the power to determine all the projects that need to be taken up at the ward level or at an area level. Imagine if there is a pothole or if there is a road that has to be laid in front of a particular layout. Who is in the best position to determine that? It's the citizens who are living in that area, and they need to be empowered to decide what projects they need for their respective areas. So our demand number three is the implementation of the concept of area sabha, with citizens taking part in the area sabhas and the area sabhas having the authority to decide what projects are to be taken up at the area level and subsequently at the ward level. Demand number four, we need an empowered corporation and corporators without any interference from MLAs or MPs. We do not want MLAs or MPs to play any role in BBMP. Today, that is the bane. Everybody wants to interfere in BBMP. Why? Because BBMP has a 10,000 to 15,000 crore budget every year, and everybody wants to have a share in that pie. And that should not be the case at all. The Constitution defines municipality as an institution of self-government. And what that effectively means is the state government should stay out of the administration of the municipality, and specifically in a city like Bengaluru, which is BBMP. So our demand number four is no role for the MLAs or MPs whatsoever, including being part of any committees or having a vote to elect the mayor or anything of that sort. We don't want any involvement of the MLAs or MPs in municipal governance, specifically in BBMP. Demand number five. There is something called as a Greater Bengaluru Authority that has been defined in the Greater Bengaluru Governance Bill. We do not need a Greater Bengaluru Authority. It's actually a very important concept for coordination between municipalities, panchayats, as well as the parastatals that come under the Greater Bengaluru area. But the reason we are opposing the Greater Bengaluru Authority is, as per Article 243 of the Indian Constitution, there is supposed to be something called as a Metropolitan Planning Committee, MPC, that should have been implemented in a city like Bengaluru more than 25 years back. And that body, that committee, is the overseeing committee, is the planning committee, is the coordinating committee for various agencies, municipalities and panchayats that fall under the Greater Bengaluru area. If the Metropolitan Planning Committee concept is implemented in letter and in spirit, we do not need a Greater Bengaluru Authority. And this Metropolitan Planning Committee should be administered by the Metropolitan Mayor, not by any state government. So that is our demand number 5. Demand number 6. There is a 12th schedule in the Indian Constitution which effectively lists out municipal functions, 18 different municipal functions like solid waste management, water supply, drains, parks, playgrounds, and a whole host of civic functions that need to be administered by the municipality. Today, quite a few of these functions have not been devolved to the municipality. So our demand number 6 is all these functions that are actually listed in the 12th schedule to the Indian Constitution should be fully and properly devolved by the state government to the municipalities and specifically to BBMP. Demand number 7, which is very fundamental, BBMP elections. You will be amazed to know that the BBMP elections have been delayed by almost about 4.5 years now. As per the Indian Constitution, as per the prevailing BBMP Act, the election should have been conducted almost 4.5 years back. What is happening in Bengaluru currently is completely unconstitutional and illegal without an elected BBMP council. Amazing, right? Who is responsible for this unconstitutionality or this unconstitutional violation that's happening? Fully and squarely with the state government. Earlier, the BJP government kept on delaying it, and now the Congress government is delaying it. We do not want any delays in the BBMP elections. And one of the fundamental reforms that we need is, if at the end of the tenure of a BBMP council, if the state government has not notified a new delimitation and reservation, we want an empowered state election commission that has the authority to conduct the election as per the previously available delimitation and reservation. That is our demand number 7. Demand number 8, it relates to the finances, accounts and audit of BBMP. You will again be amazed to know that there is no internal audit that's happening in BBMP for quite a few years. And with regard to audit, we don't know whether an audit of the BBMP accounts has happened in the last few years, but for sure they have not been published in the public domain. One of the fundamental underpinnings of municipal governance is transparency. We want the BBMP accounts to be audited every year and to be published in the public domain at the end of 6 months from the conclusion of the financial year end. It cannot be delayed beyond that. Along with that, every year we want an internal audit of BBMP to be conducted. And if this is not done, we want the Chief Commissioner to be held accountable and the Mayor to have the power and the authority to remove the Chief Commissioner if this is not done. So that is our demand number 8. Demand number 9 in a way is related but somewhat different. Every year BBMP approves thousands and thousands of projects worth thousands and thousands of crores, significantly at the ward level too. What are these projects? Where are they being implemented? What is the status on that? There is no information available in the public domain. We want the Greater Bengaluru Governance Bill to clearly mandate that every year the projects that are approved in BBMP and subsequently implemented and executed, we want all these projects to be available in the public domain, project by project, in some website. Interestingly, from the 2015 to 2020 time frame, when the erstwhile BBMP council was in place, believe it or not, Bengaluru Navanirmana Party has displayed the details of all those projects in the public domain. How did we do it? How is it possible that a party with limited or almost no resources is able to do it, but BBMP with so much of money available at its disposal is not able to do it? So demand number 9, all the projects of BBMP that are approved and subsequently implemented and executed every year, project by project, details should be available in the public domain. That is our demand number 9. And last but not the least, demand number 10. There is so much of misgovernance happening in Bengaluru. Many of the roads, drains and many other projects are in bad shape. Have you ever wondered why? Here is a shocking reality. Almost about 50% of the projects are being given to a single agency without any tendering process, and an agency which has been under the scanner by the Enforcement Directorate. Congress calls it corrupt when BJP is in power, and BJP calls it corrupt when Congress is in power. This agency has been blacklisted by many different government bodies themselves, but year after year, this agency keeps getting a good chunk of the projects worth thousands of crores without any tendering. This agency is called Karnataka Rural Infrastructure Development Limited, KRIDL for short. And this is the agency through which all the misgovernance in Bengaluru is being administered. It's a great conduit for money to be siphoned off. We do not want such agencies to be given projects without any tendering. So our demand number 10 is every single project in BBMP should go through a proper tendering process, should go through a transparent tendering process with citizens involved, ward committees and area sabhas involved. This is the only way corruption can be eradicated. This is the only way projects can be administered in an efficient manner, and this is the only way that Bengaluru's infrastructure can be developed in the most effective manner. So this is our demand number 10. So these are the 10 fundamental demands that we have in terms of what changes we want in the Greater Bengaluru Governance Bill. I am very confident that if these changes are implemented in the bill, and if this bill is passed into an act, and subsequently if BBMP is administered through this Greater Bengaluru Governance Bill, or what will become as a Greater Bengaluru Governance Act, that is the most important starting point or the stepping stone to realizing our dream and our vision of building a great Bengaluru. My vision is in the next 10 to 20 years, we all should work together to make Bengaluru the best city in the world. And this Greater Bengaluru Governance Bill is the starting point. So what are you waiting for? We have created an online petition. We also have put out our version of the bill in the public domain. Please do support us. Please do sign the petition. Let's put pressure on the government to pass a bill that is the right bill for Bengaluru. And guess what? These are all the recommendations that have also been made by the Brand Bengaluru Committee, constituted by who? By the government of Karnataka only. And the sad reality is, many of these changes which have been proposed by the Brand Bengaluru Committee, which has been constituted by the state government itself, they themselves have ignored it. Is that acceptable for us? Absolutely not. All that we tell the Congress government of Karnataka is, please listen to your own leader, Shri Rahul Gandhi. Please respect the Indian Constitution that you proudly keep saying that we respect it. Please respect the recommendations of your own committee, that is the Brand Bengaluru Committee that you have constituted. Citizens of Bengaluru, Bengalurigas, come join us in this fight to make Bengaluru the best city in the world. Let's fight for not just a Greater Bengaluru Governance Bill, let's fight for a great Greater Bengaluru Governance Bill. I hope you will all give us your support in this. Together, let's make Bengaluru the best city in the world. Thank you for patiently listening to me. Let's all work together. Thank you.